Yo, it's Bill and Joel coming through with the flow. Got our 1 liter broadcast, though it's ready to go. We sip, we chat, we laugh, we rap. Fill up that cup, no cap. It's a rap, baby.
How's that? How's that intro courtesy to AI? My friend AI made it. Isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah, bro. What was that? What was that? That Snoop cat fellow that people talk about?
Who
Snoop
knows?
Dogg?
It's literally the AI won't make anything that sounds like a specific artist because of copyright and stuff. They can't copy specific artist
That
voices.
sounds like every rapper I've ever heard.
Exactly. I was like, which one should I choose? I made a bunch I can show you after. But I was like, hey, this one sounds the clearest and shit. And Joel would appreciate this.
If you guys want to hear the other versions, stay tuned each Friday.
Each Friday, you'll see another intro.
Hey, everyone.
If they're good enough to make it on the show. Oh, let me move this for you all.
My name's Yoli Pop. You've just covered my camera. Dickhead. No. My name's
out of one shot into the other.
This is Yoli Pop and Philip Geet, aka the composer, aka Filtered Water, Filtered Reality,
That's it.
aka Incensus.
Go by a lot of names.
Philip's just got back from his trip to Europe with his partner Emily.
Yeah.
And we're going to be discussing his trip over there. So it's going to be a very boring episode, guys. Maybe
The last time I talked about my travels,
That was lit.
how not to travel.
I was lit.
Yeah, that's because I had a lot of fuck ups. That was actually one of our most listened to episodes.
Yeah, let's call this
not to
How to Travel to Europe.
How to travel to Europe. I don't think I have as crazy of stories to tell. I mean, one of the cooler things about Germany and Munich, for that matter, feeling juiced?
My biceps are sore from yesterday's workout.
Yeah?
I love it.
Is the beer going straight to the biceps?
I hope so.
The
What were you
carbs
saying?
from the beer will feed the bicep.
What were you saying about Munich?
Munich?
I wish Munich was pronounced Munich, not Munich.
Well, it's München.
Wait, so Munich is München.
Yeah.
So
With an U.
I thought they were two different places.
With a U with the umlaut.
So you did Berlin and Munich.
München. Yeah.
München.
München, yeah.
München. So
That's it. U. München.
Berlin's
You
the
did it.
capital, right?
Berlin's the capital. I've never been. I
Did
had
it feel
never
like
been.
a capital city?
Yeah. There's
Yep.
big city vibes.
Mm.
Like, this is the first time I went there. Never been to Berlin. Never seen the Wall. Now I've seen the walls.
At any point in Berlin were you like, big city life, but
I didn't do that. No.
Babylon, something, eat some, hey.
Did I fuck up?
do you
Should I
mean?
have done that?
I mean, I would have done it, but I'm psychotic, so.
Well, I mean, what I did do when I was in London,
Yep.
obviously, I was walking
You're
around.
like, come on, England!
I was walking around and I was just was looking around at all the sites and I was just like, London! London!
Yeah.
And I don't even know where that's from. That's why I messaged you. I was like, where is that
I think it
from?
just came from my brother Sean because like we watched a lot of like English dramas and like action movies growing up, and it's like English people are very like, come on England, fucking come on, and then my brother like just took England and said London, so he's like, come on London, fucking put a fucking smash a glass over there, bottles and chains, fight your missus, you know.
But how do I know that? Is that from when we were like shooting?
I've said it to you a million times.
when we were shooting
London.
stupid videos and you were putting on an accent and we're like, let's make a beat and
Yeah.
you'd be London.
Yeah.
Charming.
Can I ask you a question? Have you been watching the Olympics?
No, I haven't. I've just seen like whatever people are posting on Instagram. I've seen old mate with the little air gun, the Turkish guy.
Yeah,
just-
yeah. Hand in pocket like a fucking G. Dude, all the comments in that video. Here's the picture here. So it was like they had a joke. It's like I think it was a female Korean shooter had like an ocular lens and she had all these like gears and gadgets and shit. And then it just showed a picture next to that was like the Turkish shooter. He was like a fucking father of two, middle-aged man, just like hand in pocket, like no earplugs, no safety glasses, shooting.
just his normal
Yeah.
reading glasses.
And the comments were like, this isn't a competitor. This is just some fucking dad who they like pulled out of bed and said, you got to do this today. Like, that's fucking hilarious. Well, yeah,
his kids were probably like, Dad, you're really good at this. You should probably go to the Olympics. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what's up?
He's like, yeah, I shoot. I saw so today my boss at work mentioned, like, he was like, I've been watching the Olympics, bit of fucking controversy, and that's pretty much all he said. And then I asked some people,
What's the controversy?
the controversy is, and this is the worst thing that could have happened to the Olympics.
What?
The official Olympics, dude. Shit's happening in America in local unis and schools, but I never thought it'd happen in the Olympics. I don't know what country, maybe like Azerbaijan or one of those random ones. No disrespect to Azerbaijan if it's not the country, just off the top of my head. They had a trans fighter.
Okay.
He hit in the women's league. Apparently, I haven't seen this. Apparently, he hit her once and she just went, "No, that's too hard. If I fight
Yeah.
this person, I'm going to die. That's too hard." And then he like got pushed to the next level.
I didn't think they were allowing that.
Were they fucking like? I know the Olympics aren't going to watch this, but you should be ashamed of yourself. That woman fought her fucking ass off to get to the Olympics,
Yeah.
and she has to contend with a fucking cowardly man.
Yeah, I heard a story, not even with a physical sport, but I think Rogan told this because he's apparently like obsessed with pool. You know, pool the game.
Rogues has had some sick episodes recently.
Yeah. So he was saying that the same thing, but before even competing, the finalist was like, "No, I'm not competing if it's against this used to be dude," because apparently we just have our brains are different. Our brains are different, and we have advantages in certain things, and I'm sure women have advantages in other things.
Muscle twitch fiber, bro. Do you know? I'm not even ashamed about saying this. I'm going to happily say this. I don't want you to remove this. Do you remember when who was the ice skater that Margot Robbie played? Remember she played the ice skater? You know the one I'm talking about, right? And she paid someone, that ice skater she was playing paid someone to like go up to her competitor and hit her with a tire iron in the leg.
Oh God!
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
Right.
Stacey Stiffy, whatever. I would probably laugh if these trans people who were competing in the Olympics, especially against women, got their ankles broke the night before. I don't give a fuck. Hold it against me.
What
I don't give a
about
fuck.
what about the opening ceremony? Because I've seen a lot of like memes about it, but I didn't bother looking it up because I just thought this looks trash. I don't even want to
Bro, I am
get into it.
with the amount of stuff that I know in my life and the things I've read, I really doubt the veracity of religion and Jesus and God and shit, especially the Catholic and Christian religion. There could be some kind of like weird transcendental creature out there that is somewhat a level of a god that could influence our lives, but it's just like, you know, there's a billion zillion words out there, like little insect. What do you want? Leave me alone. You know, like dead, destroy your planet, dead. You know, I'm not saying it's in another realm, but it's probably just like this thing. You know, like a star god or whatever. I don't know, but I
Some
have
40K shit.
Yeah,
That's what I believe in.
yeah.
You say Christian God? 9.
No, an emperor.
40K emperor.
Yeah, but I do have a soft spot for Catholicism and Christianity because it's deeply rooted in our histories. You know me, I love history, right? Pretty much the development of Europeans throughout history, religion was hand in hand. And obviously we did atrocious things. We, as in not us, but like our ancestors, but those morals and values still kind of exist today in a more societal fashion. So I respect Catholicism and Christianity. I respect most religions. I don't necessarily respect Islam. I think I have a
Do
lot
you
of
know a lot about it?
I've
to
been
be able to judge it?
I have been educating myself, and it's
Okay.
dude, the Quran is some fucked up shit.
Is it?
bro. It
Okay.
is some fucked up shit. I know a lot of people, like the guy I buy cigarettes off is a Muslim guy. I really like him. I've known Muslims all my life.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
good people. But it's the same thing with everything. Some people are good, some people are bad. You can't judge them on the thing that they're
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
like everyone likes
like-
Michael. Everyone
It's
likes
like
Michael
judging
Jackson.
me on Hitler.
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
German.
exactly. Everyone likes Michael Jackson, but he's done fucked up shit. I'm not going to judge you because you like his music because he did
Exactly.
exactly right. So, but taking like these cowards are happy to mock the Last Supper because they know they can get away with it. If they did some kind of like, you know, the Prophet Muhammad mock, They're going to be fucking their families are going to get bombed. There's going to be anthrax in the mail. And like, I have a very, very, very soft spot for like Christianity and Christians and Catholics. If people are still happy to praise it and well, like I have a Saint Michael pendant, like this, the story of Saint Michael, the archangel, Jesus, God's right hand. He's basically God's muscle. I may not believe he's real, but the story and the conviction that he possesses encourages me.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone can get inspiration from a beautiful picture or a
It's the
song.
stories and values, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
the religion is built around.
Eye of the Tiger. You know that song? Eye of the Tiger. People will listen to that and be like, I'm going to do it. Eye of the Tiger. We are the champions. They're like, you can take song or music or any painting or physical things and seek encouragement and inspirement from it.
Song is my religion.
Yeah. And dude, like, and history is mine.
Yeah.
And like, I love the idea of a God having a main source of his enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this angel named Michael, and he's just indifferent to people's bullshit. He just goes there and gets shit done. And that's empowering, especially for someone like me and in sales.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to mock something similar to that, it's like, you know, people don't care about your feelings. It's whatever. But like, to me personally, I took it personally.
Yeah, and many people do. We live in the age of not just being offended by things, but also being offended for other groups about things.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you do that? How dare you make fun of this group of people? We're offended for them. And then
I'm not
the
into
group
that.
of the group of people that's in actual line of fire, they're just like, we don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's all the woke people that are offended.
That's pretty much woke people and African American people. Like,
exactly.
yeah, like Black Lives Matter. Obviously, a lot of African Americans are upset about that shit, but for the most part, they're like,
Yeah, but
why a bunch of women, like lesbian women, fucking
Yeah,
protesting for
exactly.
us? You know?
I'm more talking about like if someone says something and then all these woke people are like, you can't say that, brr. I'm like, dude, you're not even part of the African American group that statement was aimed at.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the people that were confident African American people don't give a fuck about that statement. You're just offended on their behalf.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about wokeism.
Mm. It bothers me as well. Like, I think all of this for me comes back to these protesters, whatever they're protesting, throwing paint and shit at like famous paintings in museums. Remember that was a big
Famous
thing.
art,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Gluing themselves to it.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. It's like that is your history as well. How dare you? Like, what you're doing, protest is an expression of freedom and choice to have
Letting
to
your
do
voice
that.
heard, yeah.
How would you? It's like friendly fire, dude. How could you target art?
Mm.
The most physical expression of someone's heart and soul, and you're going to go and target art? This is how I know the current woke people are just a bunch of fucking idiots who know nothing about history.
That's exactly what I was going to counter that with, because I'm like,
Yeah,
When I
you have
see-
to counter shit. We're on the same page.
yeah, but when I hear shit like that, I'm just like, these guys are just fucking idiots.
Mm.
Like, all that's doing is, yeah, it's causing chaos, but it's just for attention, so that people go, oh my god, they did what? Like, why would they do that? Because we want attention.
Do you know what's an interesting thing to consider? So, like, the newer generation with all their phones and their lack of history and just being idiot kids, emphasis on lack of history, study that shit, you dickheads. But do you think if the same people were protesting when we were in high school, maybe 2007 or 8, it'd be a lot more organized. And then 10 years before that, even more organized. And 10 years before that, even more organized, even more passionate.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how like we're degrading in levels of like,
It's
I'm going to glue myself to the floor and traffic in New York can't go past.
exactly. It's just, is it laziness? Is that what's happening? We're just getting
I'd
lazy.
say so. Laziness, it's people just, dude, you know what it is? When I got out of high school, the first year out of high school for me, I was just so lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Some people I knew had jobs. Some people I knew were traveling overseas. I was just like, I was so angry because I just had no focus or drive. So I used to just lash out on like Facebook and things and like join like veganism was my thing. Like I was a
That's
vegan.
who
and I
these
was
people
like,
are, though, right?
yeah. But it's just like I feel like it's worse.
Yeah.
Like this is
Because
their
they have a louder
stage.
voice.
Yeah.
Because social media is probably so much quicker and
Yeah.
visual, and they can just make a reel,
Mm.
and that shit goes viral.
Mm.
And then we judge that generation based on that
Couple of
personas.
idiots. Yeah.
The persona that
Half
gets,
of their
that goes
generation
viral.
probably don't care about it, dude.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you know how it's probably managed to get into Disney and mainstream? Because like some fucking CEO of Disney or like top tier exec has a son who's like, "You never listen to me, Dad. I'm a woman now." And then like, and the mum's like, "I'm gonna divorce you unless you fucking give your daughter, who's a boy, biological boy now, more attention." So they're like, "I'll tell you what, I will put trans people in the next Star Wars series."
I always
You know?
wonder about that. That's one theory.
We gotta pause.
Yeah. I always wonder, how does it get to those places where large corporations are like, we need to be inclusive. We need to put trans into our TV show. Or
90% of the population
movies.
don't give a fuck about trans. So how did that 10%
I don't
win?
That's my question. I'm like, how does it get to a place where it's like, we must include this?
It's absolute dog shit.
And it's because the minority that screams is way louder than the majority that keeps their mouth shut.
Yeah.
That's the
And so
problem.
we've failed as a society for letting these fucking
We
idiots run
failed.
rampant. Do you know what I'm really keen on? I'm
What?
really keen on the enhanced Olympics being a thing. Like I love
People
the
with
Olympics.
Neuralink.
Yeah. Oh no, not that. Oh,
Oh.
that would be sick though. Like people had like exoskeletons and
You
shit.
mean like roided Olympics?
Yeah, so you could like no holds bar. You could just be fucking, what one would you like to do? Like if let's say you had all the money in the world and you could like train for like maybe fucking 2 years or maybe like 12 months, what sport would you like to do the most if you were just on roids, had good nutritionists?
Juiced up.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna pick something boring that's gonna be like
Just
like
fucking say it, bro.
powerlifting or something, like something that's
That
gonna
is
make
boring.
me yoked as fuck. But
Bro, if you're enhanced and you're doing powerlifting,
what?
you're already fucked. I'd say like I'd do fucking like javelin or like rowing or something. You just be like room,
What about
BMX.
no? What about like the gymnasts? You know, the ones that are hanging off rings with their arms just straight out.
But here's the
They're
thing, right?
so yoked as it is.
But like here's the thing about those people, right? This is why I said the same thing with powerlifting. Those powerlifters who already are in the Olympics, or those yoked people doing the discus or whatever the fuck, not discus, that shit, the rings, they're just going to go, I'm probably going to get more glory doing this. And they're just going to take roids and do that shit. So they've already got a huge leg up on you. But these like scrawny people doing like triathlons and shit, that's where you could probably squeeze in and
yeah,
just.
but if you're saying it's the enhanced Olympics, everybody going to be on roids. So you're competing
know.
with other roid heads.
Yeah, but you're competing with people who have been doing this since they were 12 years old.
Oh,
so I'm
right.
saying pick a sport that doesn't have people who are as
So
physically
you're
fit.
saying
Yeah.
this is an Olympic where you can enter, but most people that are entering, they've only just jumped on the juice because they know they
Bingo.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fresh juices.
So like, let me ask you this: like, you've got a rowing team, right? They're very fit, very healthy, and then you get the same amount of people for a rowboat, like a group rowboat, like 6 or 7 people, and then you chuck them all on roids, or people who have been lifting weights for like 6 or 7 years, you chuck them on roids, and then you get them to row a boat in training for 12 months. Who's going to win?
yeah.
If you choose someone who's been a gymnast all their life and then put them on roids, and then you go to do a gymnast and you're on roids, they're going to win.
Yeah.
Because they've got that edge. So you got to pick a sport that's like,
So you're
Not
talking
usually
about
roid.
me now, the way I am now with my current skills. What would I quick smart learn to try and compete in the
for
Olympics?
12 months on roids with
12
nutritionists.
months. That's really quick.
Yeah. But I know, you know what? Let's say this. Sorry, let's bring it back.
Archery.
Everyone else who's doing the enhanced Olympics can't be prior Olympians
Yeah.
or have trained in that sport.
See, archery,
That's
I'm probably fucked too because maybe not if none of them have trained. But like, how much better are you gonna get with roids for archery? You're not.
I mean, you'd be ripping that bow back, bro. Ah!
Compound bow. You're like, is it a compound bow? I didn't feel it.
Yeah. More like 2 pounds of bow. Boing. Dude, there's like, I think we've talked about this before, but they've dug up skeletons of archers.
Oh yeah, with the
Like-
different length.
Yeah, and
Or
like
bone density.
bone density, bro.
Damn,
Especially
son.
in one arm, because that's an English bow. The English bow was like, before the crossbow came along and muskets, the English bow was like unrivaled. The distance those fuckers. And cunts were training it since like a young age. So imagine being 10 years old and your old man's like, rip it back. And you're like, I can't do it.
I can't do it, Papa.
Yeah, do it. The French are coming.
Your rear delt's like, just fucking do it.
Imagine walking around with just one solid rear delt and the other one's weak. You want to go cross, like, both arms, right?
It's weird, isn't it? Like if you had to really push both ways, is your left? Because I would have my left arm forward. Is that you as well?
Yeah.
So is your left pec gonna get bigger and then your right back?
Yeah.
Because you're just like, eh.
I wonder if these people will like walk to the limp. If they've been doing that for fucking 15 years, just in the trenches with a fucking arrow, like, would you be like,
Is that the Disney cartoon Hercules where there's is that the one where there's a spear thrower and he's got like one arm's really big and one arm's really skinny?
I don't remember that, eh?
Maybe it's not Hercules. Maybe it's Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah.
I used to
Dude,
watch that shit.
Yeah, that was a sick show. I kind of dropped off. Like, I've never liked musicals, especially Disney, like the
Oh,
singing.
yeah, of course,
Never
yeah.
bothered me. And then, oh man, I watched The Incredibles, the first one in the cinema. I loved that. And the second one didn't do shit for me. Obviously, the Toy Stories were lit,
Yeah, Toy Stories are great.
but like,
Toy Stories aren't musical.
I know, but just like,
Oh, yeah, they are.
Sorry, I should say,
Got a friend
yeah,
in
I
me.
should say Pixar and Disney, right?
Ah, yeah.
So like, I never watched Let It Go, Frozen. I never watched, what's that one at the moment where it's like the emotions in people's brains? Everyone's gone off about that.
Oh, that's
Me?
a good one, dude.
What's that, Me?
Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, I can't remember. People
I
were talking
enjoy
about,
Inside Out. It's actually pretty good.
shit doesn't fly with me, eh?
Because
So like people referencing it today at work, I'm like,
you haven't seen it?
nah.
Yeah. But it shows like how your emotions should be working in the back end.
I understand.
And
the
then it
pre-
gets real deep and you're like, right in the feels.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure I'd enjoy it, but like, it's just, I'd rather watch an old fucking.
I don't know if
an
you
old-
would, to be honest.
Yeah?
Like I say I like it, but I'm just picturing you watching it. I'd be like, nah, you'd be like, this is lame.
I feel like everything that I'm like, I personally probably have gone through every emotion the characters have gone through. So
But
it's
that's
just
the
like,
whole point.
I don't need to relate to a fucking animation. Like, I feel this every day. Like, don't remind me of my
But that's
fucking.
the point. It's like a young girl, just like before she's even figured her shit out, and then she like gets depressed because they move house and she loses all her
I
friends.
can't relate to a young girl though. If it was a young dude who's getting a boner all the time,
Oh, gotcha.
what's that
gotcha.
show you like? Big Head.
Big head, big
That
mouth.
makes
big
big
mouth.
mouth. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's great.
But like, I don't even like that show, dude. It's too. Come on, dudes. It's just too like the comedy's lame, but the story of like prepubescence and like hormones, that's kind of like
Great.
interesting. But
I love it.
the fact that they made a monster to be a physical manifestation of hormones is like a really good idea, but it didn't set with me. Like it was
Oh,
just
it
like
set
the
with
character
me.
was
It set with
so
me.
like it's just like ugly hairy thing.
Love
like
it.
not into
It's
it.
got
eh?
a dick for a nose. It's great.
I did like the female one, Bubble Bath. She was. I liked hearing her voice. That was entertaining.
I'm gonna have a bubble bath.
Yeah, you cry every night, and every time you clean yourself, it's just a bubble bath. Like, yeah,
And when it's Valentine's, what is it? Valentine's Day? She's like Valentine. And I'm like, stop
Valentine,
saying it. Stop saying
baby.
it with an M.
did that chick fuck the dude's one with the dick nose? Did they fuck?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Nice. She
Like
was
they have
mint.
an on-off thing going.
Yeah, she was thick, dude. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
those two monsters get it on.
He was punching above his weight. But
Speaking of drinking, I wanted to say what's beautiful about München. So we get to München, and one morning we're like, we have to find a place that does breakfast because I wanted Em to try Weisswurst. You know those white sausages?
white carb.
They literally just serve them in like a bowl of water, like freshly boiled. They place the bowl on your table, and you're like,
It's been nice and hot and warm, right?
hot and warm.
That's what she said.
People don't eat the skin either. So you peel this sausage and then you have it with sweet Bavarian mustard.
That's questionable. You got to peel it.
Yeah, it's real weird. But we get
Do
the
you
only
eat the,
place.
do you eat the skin? Like,
No, you don't eat the skin. So It's like really thick compared to other sausages, so it's like a bit weird. I used to eat the skin, but I was like, no, let's do it as a traditional.
It'd be
and peel
super
it.
chewy if you tried to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But the only place I could find that was open at 9 a.m., which was the earliest, was the Weiss Brauhaus in Munich, which is a brew house. So went there. They had all these outdoor tables, and we rock up. And we rocked up at like 10 a.m., so not too early, but still 10 a.m. on a Thursday, I think it was. And I was like, yeah, look, German breakfast. And literally there's just like a bunch of different tables, and they've all just got beer on the table. I'm like, this is what's up.
And this is what time?
10 a.m.
Fuck, that's
And
gangster.
these are like grown men. Like there was this
So-
guy that was like in his 50s, and I'm like, I bet he's probably going to work after this.
Yeah.
He's
So you
just
said Weiss Brauhaus. So that's light beer house?
Weiss white. It's just white
Weiss.
brew house.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Weiss.
Okay, so would white beer be a little bit lighter percentage-wise?
No, it's not. It's not saying the beer is white. It's just the Brauhaus is called Weiss Brauhaus,
Right,
like
right,
just
right.
like the Hof Brauhaus.
Mm.
But
It's like, bring your pig.
yeah. Well, Hof is court.
Oh,
Like your front court is your Hof.
yeah, courthouse.
Yeah.
The court of beers.
We
Very
call
cool.
a train station. We call a Bahnhof. So like a
Bahnhof.
train court kind of thing.
Can you drop me off? It's a Bahnhof.
Yeah, Bahnhof.
Nice.
And then there's the Flughafen, which is the airport.
Airport. I was gonna say, yeah. Well, isn't that
It's basically the fly port.
Luft.
Luft is air.
Yep. So
Luft.
what did you say? Lufthansa.
No, I said Flughafen. Flug is flight,
Mm.
and Hafen is like a port.
Airport. Flyport. Yeah. What's Waffe mean?
Waffe is weapon.
So Luftwaffe.
It's air weapon.
Fuck, that's so sick. That's so sick. Ficker einsam sitzen, Gewehre hin sein, Gewehre Einländer Deutschland.
Oh, another cool story. The fucking football grand final, Euro grand final in London. We were in London.
Yeah,
So-
Philip sent me footage. It looked hick.
Oh
Dude,
my
it looked
God.
like a packed house. Was it like every kick? Oh,
Yeah, legit. And then when England scored, fuck, that was wild. That shit went off. That shit went off.
That was a Waffe right there.
That was a Waffe. But that was really cool because we weren't going to do anything for it because we were like, whatever. And then I saw that England was in the semi-finals, so I was like,
This is a bit more important.
and we were at M's parents, so I was like,
Was
let me
M's-
just put it on the TV.
Was M's dad like, fucking come on, England?
Nah, he wasn't. He's not really into it either. But I just put it on in like their lounge room for the evening, and I was like, let me just put it on, volume real low. We're just faffing on our phones. I just needed to see what was going on. And then as soon as they got in the finals, I was like, we got to probably do something.
Oh, so you convinced them to go to the pub?
Well, no, actually, other Emily that just moved there, they were doing something, and they were like, you guys should come to this fan park.
So
blah, blah, blah.
you met them there?
We met them there the day after because we tried to get into what they were doing, all sold out.
I was going to ask you about those two.
Yeah.
What was that like?
They are like fucking new people, eh? Like they've just gone through the most stressful time of their life, like moving
Moving.
to another country, trying to find a place whilst he had a job already lined up. They had this place that his work paid for. He's a Sparky. They had this place that his work paid for that they were staying in. So she had to run around, find these places, and then try and coordinate that with him.
In London?
In London, yeah. Like, London's fucking huge, dude.
South
Like,
London,
it's
north,
so
east,
big.
west?
I will have to get back to you. I
Mm.
can't remember. But they got a really nice place now. And
Were they like newlyweds or like so in love with each other?
well, they were just like new life. Like they both just loved it. And like he was doubting that he was gonna love it because he was like,
Every
"Oh, no."
Irishman I've ever met have been like, I fucking love London.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, I don't know about moving back, blah, blah, blah. And he said, without any prompting, he was like, I have been loving it and I wasn't expecting to. And I was like, shit. And you could see like she was so happy about him saying that. She was like, yeah, it's great. So like,
Were they still super fit and juicy and fat bootied?
well, he found a new gym, which is like 15 minutes away, and she's been a few times. And I think that's part of it. I think part of them just it's like their own start together. Because here they had 2 separate lives and they started dating with 2 different gyms. He went to a different gym to her, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like,
They need each other.
well, it's not need. It's like they're now making friends together at this new gym.
Yeah,
and
but
meeting
like-
the same people.
But like when your back's against a wall, you need someone to lean on. So like having each other for that, they need each other.
yeah,
right?
they are each other's only support. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful to see.
Has he been able to go home and visit family in Ireland?
I don't even know if they did that at the start, but
Mm.
who knows? Like they've literally, we visited them and they had moved like a few weeks before that. Like they had just settled in. They'd still got a bunch of shit to do, but their house looked nice. And I was like, this is.
When you guys caught up, was it like a fucking scene?
No, we went to some, I don't know.
Did
if
you
it
have to
was a
travel
pub.
into London to meet them?
Yeah, we traveled to a restaurant and then they were like, oh, we're actually just down here. And then we like,
How far was the travel? Like 2 or 3 hours?
no, we stayed in London. This is when we stayed in London.
I thought you. So wait.
So we were at Em's parents and then we did 2 nights in London before we flew from London to
Germany.
Berlin. Yeah.
Right. How
Yeah,
long was
yeah.
that flight? 4 hours.
Less than that, I think.
Nice.
A little domestic.
Dude, what's London like? Is it kind of like Sydney, or is it super fucking like, come on, England? Is it scummy?
It's big and it's, I wouldn't say scummy, but I wouldn't live there.
Why is that?
It's just not my vibe. It's just very grey.
Is it like everything's just bleak? There's not a lot of color.
Yeah. Everything's grey. There is a lot of
Would you
cool-
say like when you go to town hall on a fucking Friday afternoon, it's like hectic. Would you say it's even more busy than Sydney? Like more people, larger?
Yeah, it's not like, well, maybe maybe at night, yeah, but it wasn't like crazy. But it's just a big city.
Was
Like,
this the first time you've been to London?
yeah,
Wow.
big city. I got because I added the new additions. I get keychains for every like major place that I've been to, and then I pin them on a little cork board.
You get the little.
I'll show you a little video. I'll edit.
You got
it
Big
in.
Ben and the bus.
Yeah. So it's Big Ben, a red bus, and a
Stonehenge.
British flag, all on the one keychain. That's what's on the one keychain. Those 3 items. Before I even saw that keychain, I was like, I got to get this iconic shot. I was at the Big Ben. There was fucking British flags, and then I was like, I got to wait for the red bus to come by.
Here's the photo here.
Yeah, and I got this shot. And after I got the shot, I was like, okay, I got to buy my keychain. And I saw that keychain. I'm like, oh my God, that is literally the photo that I got. I got all 3 of the iconic things that were required for the photo.
How was Stonehenge closer to M's place?
Yeah. So Stonehenge
Dude,
was on the way.
Did you touch the stones?
No, you're not allowed.
But
It is so, dude.
When you stand there, it was like,
No. It was
What's the point?
so commercialized. I was imagining it like, oh, there's Stonehenge. We'll pull up, we'll park, we'll see it. We'll be like, oh, look, Stonehenge. Brr. Nah, it's like Stonehenge this way. There's a car park and it's like a couple of kilometers away from Stonehenge. Massive car park, massive like center with like a little museum attached to it kind of thing. History, blah, blah, blah. You buy tickets to then go into Stonehenge. They got buses that run along this little narrow street to take you up there. And it was a nice sunny day and we're like, there's a massive queue for the bus. We're like, fuck the bus, let's just walk. So we walked up there and then we're like, what have we even paid for now? So then we caught the bus back. But yeah, you just get like a perimeter around it where you get to walk around. And I was like, this is cool, I guess. But way more commercialized than I
the
thought.
security like everywhere.
Not really, but I don't know what would have happened if you tried to just like jump over the little line and be like, I'm going to the stones. Mines probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
Meenan!
Yeah, What about the you guys were like rock diving into the water there? Like, that's pretty scary because like that water goes up and down. Were you afraid you were gonna like just like your knees were gonna go through your fucking face?
I got it wasn't a big cut, but it was like a shit little thing that I did on the rock wall. And it was proper, like for half the time, I just had blood like dripping off my pinky.
Yeah,
But-
that's gangster. How did you get out? Is what I want to know.
Out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to climb back on the rocks.
Yeah, but was it like that's fucking hectic? What if like some fat obese bitch wanted to do it? She'd be fucked.
They wouldn't, right?
Do they not have ladders there, like a little makeshift ladder or something?
Yeah, but if you're obese and you're looking at co-steering, you're probably like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to jump off rocks into water.
How long did you guys plan that before you went to UK?
Yeah, we booked it. We booked it
How
well
much did that
before.
cost you?
I don't know, like $120 or something.
That's all.
It's like guided tour. So you get a guide, they give you all the gear. We put the wetsuit on, put the vest on, put the helmet on. I had my GoPro, obviously, and then the water's pretty cold, but it was a miserable rainy day. But we're like, fuck it, we're getting in the water anyway, whatever. But it was like rainy, cold, windy. So by the end of it, we're like, okay, we're done now.
You didn't do your fucking Jesus backflip thing.
I did a backflip. I got it on video, but it was a bit shit. Like I under rotated, like it's almost a belly flop. So I was like, I can't post that. I'll show you though. I'll show you.
Almost a belly under rotated.
Yeah, it wasn't high enough. Like the rotation would have been if there was more height, but like the water was too soon. I was like, fuck, that sucked. So it wasn't that great. Wasn't a great backflip, but some of the cliffs are pretty high. Like you saw that snap I posted. Is like it was probably a good,
about like 5 meters.
Yeah, it was over 5.
You reckon?
Probably a good.
And M jumped in. That's.
She didn't jump off the big ones.
Oh no, that was the one you went. Yeah, that was huge.
That was probably 8.
Were you the only one who
9.
agreed to do that? Was
Nah,
everyone
there was like
bitching
3
out?
of us, 3 dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. Were they like poms?
Yeah, there was a big group of friends, like 5 or 6 of them, and they were all together. That they were real funny because they're like constantly bantering.
Here's the thing I always like to ask as well as like when they hear your accent. I love any country. I don't care where it is. When they hear your accent, do you get a bit of like, oh mate, where you from? Or like, did you get that in there?
You say you don't care any country. I feel like the UK doesn't really hear our accent.
Really?
Because there's a lot of dialects in the UK, and we're probably a lot closer to UK.
You didn't turn on the Logan.
To English.
You were like, yeah, fucking here you go, cunt. How are you?
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
You should have.
I had the Sydney dialect going.
Seriously,
The
what
Sydney
you doing?
dialect. I work in tech.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So, but were they like, come on, son, go for it, lad? Like, were they
Yeah.
cheering you up?
That's how they speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more America where you get that because they hear it and they're like, "Oh, you from the UK?" And you're like, "Nah, I'm fucking Australia, mate. I'm from Australia." And they're like, "Oh, that's so cool. Do you guys ride kangaroos to work?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yes,
We do, by the way.
We do."
Yeah.
In their pouch, by the way.
You're a poucher. I'm more of a shoulder rider.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never tried that.
Slap a little necklace.
No, I'm
around there.
usually half in the pouch, half hanging out, and just hanging onto the fur. You know, like the koalas do. Pouch.
Yeah.
In the pouch.
What was your? So, would you say that was a highlight going to that English game?
English game was a highlight.
Wait, what's because like you go to a fucking pub in Australia, it's like fucking it's chill.
This
but
wasn't
then-
a pub.
Oh, it was like
This
a
was
sports
like
bar.
This was like a big. It's called Box Park. They have a few of them around, but it's like a
London.
Big, yeah, it's like
London
a
would be
big
hectic,
fucking. It's almost like a big shed, but it was like a big floor in the middle, and then it had like balconies all along the side. But all along the sides, under the balconies, was like food stalls, like food holes.
Were the Poms rowdy? Were they like fucking like?
I didn't see anything negative rowdy, but it was like a fucking mosh pit in there, dude. Like they would play bangers, like sing along bangers,
Schluck, boom.
sing along bangers, and like before the game was even on, beers are just flying. Like they get beers in plastic cups, and they're just constantly a beer is up in the air. I'm like, wait, drink that.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
there's
you're
constantly beer flying.
You look over at him, you're like, how many times are they going to play Sweet Caroline? I'm sick of this.
Yeah, literally. And M's friend that sold us the tickets because she had some spare tickets. She warned us. She was like,
tickets. What the fuck? You can just waltz in. You needed tickets.
Dude, this was an event.
How
Like,
much
this
is
is
tickets? Like $60 each.
60
60 fucking quid.
I think 60. I think it was like £50 each. So like $100 each.
Really?
But it came with like a £10 food voucher. So
That's fuck all.
you walk in, you buy yourself a burger, and then you buy some drinks.
Could you have passed up on that, or was it like something you were happy you experienced?
Oh no, big time. Like we were gonna not watch it. Then we were like, oh, if it's in the final, we could just watch it. And
If they won, dude, that shit would have been. Tell me about afterwards though, when they lost. Like when you were leaving, was everyone just like sullen?
Oh, that was probably the only like negative thing I saw. Some silly little kid. We're like trying to figure out where to go. Should we catch the train? Should we try and get an Uber? Whatever. And some silly kid was there with his friends, and he was obviously real upset. and there was like some construction fencing with like those metal plates out the front, and he punched it real hard, so it was really loud. He's like, and he's like sitting there sulking, and then like these 4 police officers in full gear just walk up and they're like, what? Start chatting to him, and he's like, brr, 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 brr. And then he starts storming off, and they're like, okay, just go home, mate. I was like, oh, boo.
He's like, fucking London, cunt.
Your sports ball team lost.
The cop's like, London. They're like, he's like, London. He's like, London. That's how they communicate. You're like, M, what is he saying? She's like, what do you mean? They're speaking English. You're like, oh no, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
It's like a Pokemon. London.
My favorite thing was when we first walked in, and this was just perfectly timed because they didn't do it again. As soon as we walked through the doors, the DJ played whatever the fuck the song / chant is, where they were all just
Sweet Carol.
no, where they're all just football's coming home.
Yeah,
it's coming home.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so iconic.
That's the new English anthem. Yeah, coming
Literally.
home. Yeah.
Literally. And then they played.
Was M like, you turn over, M's like real like ugly. She's like, fucking come on, cunt. Like real ratty.
The opposite. She was like, oh yeah, these are my people, I guess.
Yeah.
But the what was the other one where they changed the lyrics? Football's coming home again. What's that?
We
looking
could
back
be
to where we first met. One, you still turn me on. Football's coming home again. That's what
so
they sing.
English.
And I was waiting at the bar for more beers when that came on, and everyone's just screaming it. I was like, oh man.
Dude, were you like?
Yeah, I was vibing it.
They're like, where are you from,
I
mate?
was like, these guys have passion.
Yeah, they actually make. I remember a couple, maybe like fucking, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they had a Australia was hosting the cricket or something like that, or it was like maybe 4 Nations World Cup. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. And then
cricket's coming home.
And they had a video because it's like Aussie. They call the British the Barmy Army for some British army, whatever. And it was like the Poms advert was like, you Australians, you have no heart, no nothing. Like you're not as passionate as us. And it's true. Like the English are like, come on, Randy, suck a fucking dick. Your mum's a pussy.
And look, this is
You're
gonna
a
be
fucking prick. And it's us. We just sit there and drink our beer and enjoy the show. But they're like, London, eat some cunt.
We get pretty rowdy, but not as
We don't
passionate.
chant. Yeah. And I admire their passion, bro. I'd love to see the Americans, the Poms go at it. You know?
That's Europe though, and football, right? You ever watched a fucking live Euro game?
I have.
All
yeah.
you hear the
haven't.
entire game is just
Oh.
the entire game. You're like, what the hell are they doing,
Bro, you need to add a little synchronize
Oh, like the whole time.
Have you seen those fucking weird? Have you seen those weird Eastern European countries where it's just like a really dodgy camera footage and the cunts are like popping flares and shit, and then they're just throwing Molotovs on the field and the fucking goalie's like, I'm out of here, and it's just like it's not. Oh, it's bro. Just look up.
The mics are all fucked.
Yeah. It's like sorry, I was spitting everywhere.
But what I was going to say, and this is probably insensitive to people from England, but they're so passionate about their sport
That they don't wear underwear, and I can smell their ass,
No,
and they don't wipe.
No, but it's like when you think about the weather and the climate in England, it's maybe sunny for like a week out of the year. The rest is like
put a jumper
bleak
on.
and grey and cold. Like, what else is there to get passionate about other than watching the sports, watching your team thrive, drinking booze, and sports balls?
Exactly. I actually have an English dude who joined our team this week, and I was chatting to him today actually because we actually did go for drinks at lunch, and then I was drinking at my desk this afternoon as well. And he was like, I said to him, I was like, he's a good guy. He's from like South London. He's like he has that posh accent, but like, cool dude. And I was like, oh man, fucking something that fascinates me about England is like, it's so dreary and cold. You guys, your lifestyle is very much about drinking at the bar, right? Like your bar, they're so territorial about their local pub. That's everything to them. It's like the heart and hearth. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, he was laughing about it because he knew where I was going with this conversation. I was just like, I feel like if the weather was as depressing as England your whole life would just revolve around going for a piss up, right? And he's like, it's true. And he's like, obviously Australia, you guys are so much more healthy than us. And I was like, it's the sunlight. And he's like, yeah, exactly. And he's like,
and the heat,
but
because
over
we got to take our clothes off because it's so warm. So we got to expose more of our body. So we're like, we want to look fit and healthy.
yeah. And he was like, I can't, like, you can't go bike riding. You can't do this or that because it's always miserable. So like, naturally, the best thing to do is just go to the pub from fucking 11 in the morning till 2 a.m.
on the weekend.
Yeah, like just go to the pub for fucking 12 hours. Like that's what you do.
I cannot imagine that. I cannot imagine
Dude,
doing
you'd be
that.
like, oh,
But not just from the drinking. I would just fucking hate it. I would get so bored.
you get so bored after like the second day,
Yeah.
third day even.
Yeah, even the first day, I'd get so bored after like 6 hours. I'd be like, why am I still here?
Dude, I'm bored in Sydney. Every day I wake up in Sydney. Wait, winter is.
Winter is depressing, dude.
I just want to go back to sunlight. I'm talking to people in Brisbane. They're like, oh yeah, it's warm.
Darkness.
No, it's not warm. It's cold, but it's still sunny. I'm like, give me that. I just want to feel the sun on me.
Brisbane's like the same. The length of the day doesn't fluctuate as much, but you don't ever get really long days. That's the other crazy thing about being like way up north or way down south, like Melbourne and Tassie. In summer, it's fucking still light at 9 p.m. You're like, what the fuck is this? Whereas in winter, then it's dark at 4 p.m. But
Yeah.
but you don't get that massive fluctuation up in
Yeah.
Brizzy. You get a little bit more here, like especially with the daylight saving. It's shit. Like you finish work and it's completely dark. What the
Yeah,
fuck's
it's
that
bogus.
about? What is that about?
What's it about?
I hate it.
I like. Do you know what I like? Because like I don't always go out in Sydney,
But
and
when I do,
yeah, I fuck shit up. But like I haven't experienced all of Sydney's like nightlife as well. But knowing that it's always available is fun. And like I feel like every time I go out with people, there's always I'll go to maybe 2 places I've been to, and there's maybe like one extra place I've never been. It's always like a nice little thing. In Brisbane, it's like you get to a place, you're like, oh, this has changed. Or this used to have this. Like you've done everything in Brisbane.
Yeah.
That's the shit
it's
thing.
not as many things. I get it.
And the
I
Gold
haven't
Coast
done
is
everything.
less, dude.
I
In
haven't
Brisbane,
yeah.
dude, I
I don't go out,
scoured
dude.
Brisbane, bro.
I don't go out.
I scoured Brisbane. I did all the mountains, all the rock climbing, and I did
Oh, like the cool
surfers.
outdoor shit.
All the outdoor shit and all the bars and clubs, bro. I fucking fine tooth combed that shit.
Pillaged it.
Yeah,
You were done with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to Early Beach?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Small town.
Whit Sundays,
Yeah.
Early Beach,
Good place.
Mackay. No, have I been to Mackay?
Wait, how do you? Wait,
Cairns.
if I wanted to get to Early Beach from here, would I have to? Could I get a direct flight, or do I have to go to Townsville or Mackay?
Good question. I'm not sure. Maybe you can fly into the Whit Sundays. I don't know.
How far is Whit Sundays from Early? 30 minutes.
I think that is early. Like the Whit Sundays are like Early Beach is like the main part of the Whit Sundays, which is the greater area, I think.
There's some serious mushy waiting out there for me. I gotta go out there.
That I feel like up north is just known for that. I had a mate from up north that lived in Cairns, and he was like, it's kind of that. It's almost like it's a city, but it's still that small town vibe. He's
We're
like,
talking like Toowoomba small or like different small.
probably a different small. It's like a tropical hot small. But like, I feel like all his stories were just like, yeah, I mean, everyone knew everyone and everyone fucked everyone.
Yeah, small towns are gross, dude.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Have you ever been have you ever been to Penrith?
Penrith, yeah.
Bro, wait, let me tell you something. I went to Penrith maybe a month ago for that medieval thing me and my brother went to.
Yeah, I
That
saw
was,
the
that
video.
that was lit, dude.
What was that? Tell me about that.
It was called Winterfest. It was just like a proper medieval thing that had like horseback riding dudes.
Who are
like,
these people?
Full knights fighting, like in knight armor.
Are these
like
actors or are these just passionate people that go there and sign up to be a knight?
no, like people who actually train in this shit. There was one segment where people were LARPing where they wear the lame outfits. That's the video of me going, rip his head off, because it was so
Yeah,
lame.
yeah.
Dude, I was bagging the fuck out of those
It was
nerds.
just giving me
It's pathetic. But no, hang on. They've got like full like dudes smashing each other with knight uniforms and
Yeah.
fucking and horse riding and
shit.
shit. Yeah.
You've
But-
seen the movie Role Models, right? It was giving me those vibes.
Big time role models. But I went there for like a Knight's Tale level gangster shit, you know? I had all of my shits on my
Okay, so
laptop.
you went to Penrith.
Yeah.
Have you
So
got
like,
comments on Penrith? Do you?
here's the thing, right?
I've only been to Penrith and I've been to like a VR thing out there for a work function, and
Yeah.
that's as far as I know.
I only hung out for a little bit there, a couple of bars there with my brother before we went over. But here's the thing. Not even bars, sorry. No, I waited at a bar for him and then we went to Hawthorne.
Yeah.
It's like a suburb over, but Penrith is like a thing. But anyways, one amazing thing I've always mentioned, and I've said this all my life, is like, I'll watch, I won't watch, but I'll look at, I could just go to Google right now and type in supermodel runway. And I'd say maybe 1 out of 10 of those chicks I actually find beautiful. The rest are just like weird
Way too skinny.
European chicks with like strange features that make them stand out, but they're not necessarily beautiful.
And way too thin.
Yeah. And like I remember standing at a bus stop or being served by a girl at McDonald's when I was younger in Brisbane, in Logan, and being like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, right? Yeah. Right. You get it.
Especially when you're young and they're young and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, but not even that. Like, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So that's kind of stood with me, right? I get off Penrith Station waiting for my brother to pick me up. He's coming from the Southern Highlands. I saw the most gorgeous women I've ever seen, and they were full bogan. Like, not like trackies and like thongs and socks.
Dressed up, but bogan attitude or?
No, they were just, you could tell they were like low income.
Right.
Like not Darrow girls, but you could tell like when you go to Logan, right? When you stand there at Shayla at the Hyperdome, when you stand there at the Hyperdome, some girls dress good, some girls don't, but you can still tell a chick's beautiful. I saw gorgeous chicks there, and I realized I was like, fucking Penrith reminded me of Loganholme. Yeah. So I was like, these lower income areas produce beautiful women.
I mean, I think they're probably just everywhere, but in the...
No, they're not, Philip. If
have you been to Bondi?
Yeah, true. But that's a nexus. That's a fucking nexus of beautiful people want to go there because they want to feel beautiful and show off their beauty.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
whereas there, it's like a more undercover beautiful. Is that what you're saying? Like the lower income areas.
I'm just saying it's like
when we say lower income areas, it just means it's actually affordable. Whereas here,
no,
you want to get a place.
Yeah. But like,
please, just take my foot.
Here's the thing, right?
I'll pay.
Let's say you're at walk around Bondi for 3 hours and you just got a hard on all day, right? And then you get blindfolded. You get blindfolded and put in a van, and they say, we're going to drive you out to fucking Penrith right now. You're like, all right. And they show you a little bit about what Penrith is and what, and you're
your
like,
hard on goes away. Is that what you're
your
saying?
hard on goes away, and you're like, oh, this is going to be depressing. There's going to be no bikinis, no beautiful women. It's all going to be
Is there bikinis?
It's going to be, no. It's going to be like, it's winter, dude.
Yeah, and there's no beach.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the problem. The beach.
Let's say bikini side, because not a lot of women are at the beach at the moment. But you're going to see tights and booty and like a lot of fucking North Face jackets and tights and like the white socks over it and the whatever. Hey, let me finish.
Finish.
You get out and you're in Penrith and you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of suburban. Oh my God, who's that? Who's that? Who is she? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree that there's beauty everywhere.
I guess
but
it's more, is it more of a contrast to the environment? Bondi, you're
what I'm
expecting
saying
it because there's a
is,
nice beach.
what I'm saying is you're expecting beautiful women in Bondi.
Yeah, you're not expecting it out in the burbs.
You're not expecting it out in the burbs, and you're not expecting the women out in the burbs to be more beautiful than the girls of Bondi, even without a bikini on. That's what I'm saying.
I'm wondering about the psychology right now. There's so many things going through my head. Like,
does there need to be a psychology? It's just
but like the group effect. You know the group effect where they look hot in a group. If you take one out singularly, it's not that
these
hot.
chicks were individuals walking past me. They had no groups with them.
Beautiful.
No heels, no tights, dresses, anything.
Well, you know where to go.
Oh, dude, I
go out west.
I have this one chick imprinted in my head though. She had like a crop top black hoodie, so it came above the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
Black hoodie, long sleeve, tits were popping. She had like maroon activewear gym tights, like the shorts. Her ass was like 2 watermelons, but they were like, they had a bit of cellulite, so they were like, they weren't just like full plump. They were like a bit of slutness to them, bit of fucking meat to it, bit of fucking she's eating too much KFC, And then she had like, I don't know, I can't remember what she was wearing on the lower part, but I was just like, and her face was just like, she was a mix between like a fucking Italian woman and then like maybe like I don't know, something else, but it was just like beautiful. Eyebrows were pointy, gorgeous eyes, perfect nose, jawline was like not androgynous, but like enough that you'd want your children. Your jawline with her jawline would make a perfect child's jawline. She was just beautiful, dude. And I remember being like, are you like from Penrith or are you visiting from Sydney? Because I'm from Sydney, you know, like it's whatever.
Nice.
I love how we
to chauvinism.
to chivalry. I love
yeah, you kind of mixed the two.
I love
it would be beautiful if we made children and she was hot and slutty.
she sucked my dick. Yeah, I love how I somehow make our 1 liter podcast conversations always devolve into women.
Yeah. Somehow you always bring it there. That's just where
Because I'm
that's how your mind works.
I think I admire beauty and I love talking about women. I love talking about women. Maybe I should make like
You know what that just reminded me of?
I should create a Cosmopolitan magazine and just talk about chicks all day from a dude's perspective. Like,
do you know what reminded me of?
What's that?
I was just speaking to one of the guys from work. He's a bit of a, I would say he's a bit of a like good-looking dude. Lives in Bondi. Probably gets a lot of chicks. Loves to go to Bali, party, and he was asking me about my trip, and I was like, yeah, and he's like, oh. Yeah, I've been to Berlin, blah, blah, blah. He's like, did you go out? And I was like, no, we didn't go out. We were there for 2 nights. It was
Whipped.
And we didn't go out. And he was like, yeah, I went out a lot. I spent so much money. He was talking about how much money he was spending. And I was like, what, you just going out, drinking, trying to pick up? He's like, yeah, you know, like when you've got a void to fill. Yeah, I just had to fill that void with 19-year-old German girls. So, of course.
See,
touche.
Do you see the desk and this like bit of room between you and me?
Yeah.
That's a void to fill.
That was good. That was some proper intelligent dad level joke right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Fucking hell.
Phil's surprised that I have intelligent jokes in my fucking repertoire. Guess what, Philip? Thanks for the 1 liter, everyone. Love y'all.